What's up, everyone? This is Mix Night. I wanted to talk about, or rather, go over this ORAS draft league that I joined with a friend of mine, Enes. He's actually hosting the draft, so you can introduce yourself.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you for having me on the channel.
For sure. So we wanted to go over like rank each draft because we just finished them a couple hours ago, and we want to go over them like rank who has the best picks, all of that. Yeah.
Well,
So
right off the bat, I can tell you who doesn't have the best picks.
oh, we're starting like that, huh?
I think, yeah, we've got to, bro. There's one draft in here that stands out as
I
just
yeah, I
being
I
a
think
complete mindfuck.
I think anyone on screen, I have it right here displayed for everyone. In fact, let me even open it on the builder. We made like boxes of everybody's draft so that you can like go over moves and stuff. Where is it? It's literally it's at the bottom here. Yeah, whatever this is. This guy is Nilios. So I think
Man has the double Nido core. Crobat. He first picked Blaziken because he thought he could Mega Evolve it with Speed Boost, and then just decided to first pick it anyways.
without even asking questions, see the thing is, at least before I made my, at one point I wanted to. We'll go over this later, but I wanted to draft two megas, but I asked first whether this is even possible. Like I clarified the rules on the megas. This guy didn't even ask whether he could run Mega Blaziken. Didn't even check that to see that it's banned. None of that. Straight for it.
He drafted Nidoqueen and then thought to himself, what goes well with this? Huh, yeah, Nidoking, and throw another poison type in there as well, Crobat.
Four. There's one, two, three, four Gen 1 Pokemon here. I'm smelling an agenda.
I'm smelling an in-game team, bro.
Dude, literally, the Alakazam, Nidoking, everybody who's played like Fire Red or Pokemon Red and Blue has experienced that core.
No, but there is actually a reason his team looks like this, and it's because he used a randomizer. So every round he would generate six random Pokemon and then pick from one of them.
Oh my god. Why would wh- okay. That's fine. As long as he has fun, he can do whatever he wants. As long as so I think let's just get this out of there. Let's just put this all the way at the bottom, like in the ranking. Like let's just move this to the bottom. There's no
Yeah,
ands ifs or buts. Let's just get this over with. This guy is already at the bottom.
I mean, I will say as far as randomized teams go, it came out a lot better than it could have. Like there is some synergy with the Fire Water Grass core. He's got multiple Stealth Rockers. He's got a Defogger and Crobat, good
Mm-hmm.
speed, U-turn. But at the end of the day, it's a randomized team, so the individual quality just isn't there.
I saw if he gets one win, we there must be celebration in the streets. We
If he
have
gets one win, whoever he loses to is banned from the server.
yeah, facts. You can't be losing to this. Dude, you literally oh my goodness. Literally who's in this pool? Let's see. The dude with this Latias can lead with it. Use just slap a scarf on it and just click psychic 8 times. Click Draco 500 times. Anybody any like oh my it's genuine. The more I look at this, the more this makes me mad. This SD Garchomp team wins on the spot. What's his Weavile switching? Just remind me. Just remind me what's his Weavile switch. That
Dude, you're
that
talking about Weavile and Garchomp. This man doesn't switch into like Beedrill. You don't even have to go that far.
dude. God forbid Altaria gets one Dragon Dance versus him.
Honestly, we're spending too much time on this. It's a randomized team, and like you
Yeah.
said, as long as he had fun,
Hmm.
that's the most important thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's 16.
So 16th place. I mean that's better than 0th place, but okay. Let's now actually go like starting from the top. There's a few over here that I think are like really good contenders for first. The first I would say is this cheetah dude because I'm playing him and his team is actually scary. There's also more the dude with Landorus and Megavenusaur. I'm not gonna try and pronounce that. Mo here for now. Let's just call him
I
for
think we
now.
can just call him Mo.
Oh,
Just
Mo, yeah.
Mo.
Mo is scary with that. Like he has Chansey, Venusaur, Talonflame, Landorus, Slowbro, Gengar, Sizzle. Like that's a lot of good Pokemon.
It
Um,
is. I agree with you about Cheetah. I whipped up my own rankings before this, and I had Cheetah second, but I
uh
had Mo significantly lower than you did. I actually had him fifth from the bottom. I don't really rate his draft like that.
it's just because I like the how it looks. Like it's a nice balance synergy. There's no real screaming like attackers. I guess Landorus, but like his team is really balanced. I like that. Like getting a nice balance score like this in draft is always a good like way of winning because he doesn't really have sorry he doesn't really have that many exploitable weaknesses for the most part.
My main issue with this team is that he has Talonflame and a bunch of mons that are weak to spikes like Chansey, Megavenu, pretty much all his defensive guys. And then
Mm-hmm.
his only defogger is Scizor, which just isn't gonna cut it if he's playing like Ferrothorn or Skarm or something that can
Or
set them up on
Heatran
Scizor.
on it because
Yeah.
Heatran kind of just doesn't run away from anything except Landorus and maybe Slowbro, maybe. So yeah, that's a good point.
I also kind of feel like he has slow, kind of passive mons like Chansey and Florges that
Mm-hmm.
hit the field and just kind of sit there and spam recover over and over and lose you momentum. But then he doesn't really have anything like a Rotom to regain momentum after he's lost it. So I
Mm-hmm.
could see opponents with more offensive drafts just kind of taking hold of the battle and not letting go once they get a foothold.
No, that's fair. Like it's while he did go for balance, I feel like you're right in that his team doesn't really impose itself as much. Like it can be exploited by any offense core. It can be exploited. Like Greninja is low key threatening to face because especially if it can run like mixed. Like if he faces Gardevoir, it's still a problem even though he has Chansey and Scizor. Like it's not perfect, but it's balanced. That's what I like. That's just the main point for me.
Yeah, I agree. It is nice that he has eight viable mons, like
Hmm.
genuinely viable mons that he can bring to every game. Because you look at a lot of these other teams,
They're
and you
clear
see
like
shit like Minun and Crustle. It's like, are you really ever gonna bring that?
yeah.
Probably not. But all of this guy's eight mons are in contention for every game.
You genuinely have to like if I was to play versus him, I genuinely have to consider that every single one of these is gonna come. Like it's not even
Yeah.
unrealistic.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say about his draft is that the only dark resist being Florges is kinda dicey if you're playing Bisharp or Weavile or Hoopa
Hmm.
or even like DDT Tar
I mean,
potentially.
Florges doesn't really count as a dark resist except for the physical darks because they can exploit it really easily. Let's actually see what its defense stat is. I don't think it's that high from remember. Yeah, 68.
Off the 68, yeah.
68, 78 is like not good. He'd have to do something like this. He'd have to really max it out, but like it's diminishing returns. I think.
154 SpDef is crazy though. I did not realize it was that high.
Yeah, this is higher than like Lugia. I think it's tied with Lugia and Ho or something. It's really high. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, but as a
I
whole, I
just.
agree.
Uh-huh.
It's nice and balanced, but it I think you put it best. It doesn't really impose itself in
Hmm.
the same way that some of these other teams do.
Hold on. I just realized something. Just let me. I'm gonna pause the recording for everybody listening. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, we're back. I don't know why my screen is not showing. Can you guys see this? I think you should be able to see. Oops, wrong thing. Wrong thing. Oops. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, there was a bit of a disaster. I couldn't find like the tab that I was supposed to be recording. But yeah, we're back. I got some music. And I think that's. I don't think there's anything else to say about Mo's draft. Do you think there's anything we missed?
Nah, I think we covered it pretty well. You had mentioned Cheetah. So why don't we move on to his next?
Yeah, okay. Cheetah he's super slept on. Anybody who doesn't say this guy is in like top 5, he is something must be up with you, because this is a really, really solid draft. The Mew, like, I like what he did. He noticed the same thing that I noticed. The Lopunny plus Mew combination is genuinely amazing. I think that's the best use of your like 18 pointers.
Yeah, I mean Mew pairs well with anything. In particular, I feel like the type synergy is really good. Lopunny isn't exactly a mon that switches in on a lot of shit, so a lot of the time it's reliant on U-turn and Volt Switch, which he does have, to be fair. But Mew can bait in those dark and ghost attacks to give Lopunny entries. And Mew plus Jirachi is so unpredictable. Like, I feel like one of the downsides to Lopunny is that it is a bit more linear.
Yeah,
but if I'm
you're always
looking
gonna
at
know what's gonna
Mew...
do.
But yeah, right. Mew and Jirachi are the exact opposite of that.
One thing I noticed when I was like drafting Mew is like when I was looking at the pool and I realized Mew was like 18 points, it like clicked for me, because the thing about those guys, especially Mew is like the perfect example of this. You said Jirachi is similar. You never know what it's gonna run. It can literally change its move for any opponent, which is incredible in draft.
Right, and not just the moveset, but like the role as well, like physical wall, special wall, Scarfer, sweeper, pivot. What type of set do you reckon is best with Lopunny, or best on this team in particular?
I don't know. It really just depends on the opponent you're facing. Like for versus, I guess if I was to look at each matchup, then I'd say like it's good and it should do this. Like versus Kaio, the best Mew probably here is like Psychic move plus Will-O-Wisp, and then maybe Taunt, and then you're good. Versus like David Bierman, you'd want to go super specially defensive because of Latios, God of War, Infernape to an extent, but like you get the idea. Like it can change based on its opponent, and Taunt especially because of Smeargle, Wobbuffet. Like it can do. I think a lot of the time Mew is always gonna carry Taunt and a status move, and then now the rest is like up to you to decide what you want to do with it.
Right, I think U-turn is a good shout as well, and both of those matchups, and just in general with Lopunny. But one thing I like about this draft... Oh yeah, sorry, I was just gonna say that as far as roles go, like Stealth Rock, Hazard Removal, Steel Type, Pivoting, Speed Control, Priority, Water Resist, like everything that I look for in a good draft, and everything that I kind of like check off when I'm going through my own draft, he has. And it's not like he has some dog shit like, I don't know, a Slowpoke shoehorned in as a water resist. Like, he has good water resist.
Yeah,
he has good
sure.
Stealth Rock. With good pivots.
It's a really, really solid draft. There's no complaints from me here. This is, in my eyes, it's top 3.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Because like one thing I really like, when you said he has really good water resists, Dragonite, Azumarill, and Roselia cover so much. Defensive, I think one thing that's really is undersold with Dragonite is its defensive utility. And then when you add like it has Defog Mew potentially, or Donphan, or Murkrow and Prankster Defog, multi-scale is basically guaranteed each game, except versus Sand. But like there's a lot he can do here. And then Azumarill, offensive, gives you a fairy, gives you Roselia, gives you spikes. He has a solid draft.
Yeah, I like the kind of physical offense spam that he's got going on with Lopunny, Dragonite, and Azumarill, because you can use something like Azumarill to wear down like a Skarm or a Fizdef Clefable for Lopunny, or vice versa.
For sure. Let me close these. I was getting notifications. But anyway, I don't think there's anything else to talk about him. The next guy I wanted to talk about is Kaio. Really, anybody with Sand, you're in that list as well. Anybody like the Sand plus X-Ka is a threat. And it's just you and Kaio, but like, yeah, I'm gonna go over Kaio's first. We'll go over me and you last.
Cool. Yeah, I agree that Sand Excadrill is like maybe the best strategy in the format. I mean, I can't really say that with confidence because this is my first time playing ORAS draft, but at least on paper, Excadrill is such a well-rounded mon, especially in this gen where they introduce some fairies, but not necessarily the proper counterplay to deal with them. Like, it's not fully fleshed out, whereas later you get shit like Toxapex that can help you check it, and Excadrill is like the one Pokemon, aside from maybe Metagross, that can really switch into something like a Calm Mind Clef repeatedly and actually force it out.
Yeah, for sure. I think just the steel typing of Exca paired with like the fair resist for Tita. I don't know. This Exca is really good. How much did it cost? Actually, let me check the drafted board, the pools.
It's 15.
Only 15. Dude,
Yeah.
I think it should be up here in the 17, honestly. But then
Yeah,
again,
I
it's kind
agree.
of dependent on you getting your sand setter. But like, it doesn't really need sand. You can also run like
Right.
Scarf Mold Breaker, any Mold Breaker really. Like if you face off someone with like the highest speed, like if someone really messes up and doesn't get a Pokemon with like more than 100 speed or like 100 speed, Swords Dance Exca is really threatening to that.
Yeah, that's why I like it in Sand, because just Exca by itself is such a good mon. It is immune to Volt Switch and resists U-turn, which is big. It's hard to get momentum on in that sense. It's the best spinner in the tier by far. And then you add Sand on top of that, and it also becomes like a top 3 keeper.
For sure. And then I think the next two guys, Thunderous and Superior, these two really are like they're elite at covering that water like weakness covered by Exca and Tita. And then Thunder also like resist. Like this four, there's a reason this is like a cookie cutter core in OU. Like there's a lot of teams that I've seen you just put Exca, Tita, Sup, Thunderous, I think Manaphy, and then you can pick any mega. It can be Garchomp, it can be Pinsir, it can be anything. Like this four is a super solid core.
Yeah, because one of the things with Excadrill is that it can kind of just thud into bulkier grounds like Lando, Gliscor, and Hippowdon, but then Serp and Thundurus are perfect for taking advantage of that.
Even Keld, like if you add on the Keldute onto that. And then I remember you asking about Hooper Unbound. What does Hooper do? Dude, look at this thing's special attack. Just give this thing. The reason this guy was banned was because of this.
Dude, it's stronger than Rayquaza and Deoxys. Its attack and special attack are
Where is
like
it?
fucking stronger than Kyogre. It's ridiculous. How is this thing 12 points?
I'm saying, dude, this thing is like everybody's draft. Like sure, you can talk about, oh yeah, it has no defense. It's kind of slow. It gets one turn. Oh my god, when I'm gonna play against this, it's actually going to destroy me because it gets one turn versus any of these guys. It gets one turn. Like it comes in on the Mew. What am I switching into this Dark Pulse? In fact, I think I can even check the calc on my water resist, on my Lopunny, my fighting resist. It's so strong, like unironically, like it's genuinely a pain to face. Like oh my goodness, I think it's just this is like the nuclear bomb to add on to like the already solid like arsenal that he has.
I mean, as good as Hoopa is in general, I feel like its inclusion is a little bit puzzling here because you've already got a dark type breaker in Mega T-Tar. You've already got enough breaking power in general with those first four, plus Keld. And I feel like his team is lacking a pivot to actually get it on the field. So I feel like in more offensive matchups, it's going to have a hard time actually even getting in a position to go for attacks in the first place because it is so slow compared to all his other guys.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's more like it's just a bit overkill. Like I like your point on
Right.
Yeah, he didn't need it. That's the thing. He probably could have used those 12 points elsewhere, so he didn't have to buy Kling Klang. But oh well.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah. And then I guess Keldeo is also really good. Like it's another OU staple. Like Keldeo, everybody knows what Keldeo does. It has no ability, but it's still S tier. It's incredible. And then Frostlass is interesting because if he wants to go like hyper offense direction, he very easily can. He just leads Frostlass, has Dragon Dance Tita, sub Keldeo, screen sub plot thund. It's an interesting draft.
Yeah.
Ignoring Kling Klang, this is really good.
Yeah, I like Frostlass for the spikes and the HO option, like you said, but also just for the pressure on grounds, because if you look at his earthquake switch-ins, I mean you can't even really call Serp or Thunderous EQ switch-ins, but they're the closest he has. So the more things he has that can threaten those out and put pressure on them, the better.
Yeah, Frostlass, I like it because of its speed as well. Like that's the fact that it speed ties Latios is very big. So like yeah, it's good at chasing out those grounds.
Yeah, I quite like this draft. I'm a big fan of Sand Excadrill, but like you said, I do think it's just a little bit overkill in the offense direction, and he maybe could have gotten one or two support mons, pivots, defoggers, stuff like that. And also Kling Klang is kind of dog shit, let's be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
He's not bringing that. He's not bringing that.
Yeah, especially versus there's no game where Kling Klang is doing anything, unfortunately. And before Kling Klang goes 6-0 all 3 games.
Bro, he's in your pool. You better watch out talking reckless like that. He's about to bring it versus. It looks kind of good into you, actually. Hold on.
It doesn't. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. You see this gear grind? You see this physical attack, right? It makes contact. Let me show you something. Let me just show you something before you talk that talk about how it looks good into my team. What's Kling Klang doing versus this guy, bro? What's Kling Klang doing versus this big flame body bird? There's nothing, bro. Versus Empoleon, that's the free entry for me to click Specs Pump.
Wild Charge, bro. You're forgetting about non-stab. Base 100 attack Wild Charge.
Free opportunity to just go into this guy EQ. Like it's I'm chilling. I'm chilling versus Kling Klang.
Why is Gear Grind such a shit move, bro? He's gonna kill himself in one turn versus Garchomp.
Literally, dude. Gear Grind is like beta double iron bash. Like they learned their mistakes with Gear Grind when they made Melmetal. Anyway, yeah. Is there any other draft you want to talk about? Like, oh yeah, like if we're to continue down this list of elite drafts, I think there's only like 2 or 3 left, and then the rest we can go into like the what are they thinking category. I want to start off with, or rather continue with either TT or Hori. Hori and TT both have good tools.
I agree. In my rankings, I had Hori number 1, Cheetah number 2, and TT number 4.
Yeah, that I understand that. That makes sense. I think
for me, Hori is like the one person that has a defensive core that's genuinely difficult to get through, but also has offense that you have to prep for in the opposite way. Because looking at it, Clef, Zapdos, Bronzong, Gastrodon is not easy to break, even if you do have something like a Gardevoir or a Kyurem Black or whatever. And then on the flip side, Gallade and Hydra coming in off Zapdos' Volt Switch is Crawdaunt as well. Yeah.
I think what he does is, remember how I was talking about how I like Mo's draft because it's like balanced, but it doesn't impose itself. Hori's is balanced and it does impose itself. Like it's a balanced team that has it has real offense, and like the core is much harder to break through. Like there's no like mindless click X move and then you're in. Like you really have to think versus the draft. The Clef, dude, facing off versus Clef, Bronzong, Gastro, Zapdos, and then also having to deal with like Specs Hydreigon in the back or something, or Choice Band Crawdaunt. He has a really good pick, a really good draft.
Yeah, and unlike some of the offensive mons we've talked about thus far, stuff like Gallade and Hydreigon, not as much Crawdaunt, but the first two actually have decent enough bulk and typing to just hard switch in on stuff and get themselves on the field, compared to something like a Hoopa, which might get kind of just out-muscled. So I'm not happy that I have to play this guy in my pool. In my opinion, he has the best draft. I'm not sure about that Avalog. Bro, this is how you know that even though it's my own tournament, I didn't rig it. Because if I wanted to rig it, I would not have had this guy in my pool.
For sure, yeah. I like. Oh yeah, what's
The
it
one
called?
thing I will say,
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah. I wanted to say, like one thing I wanted to, like, it just came to my head as you were talking. His defensive core, yes, they're able to hard switch into everything, and on top of that, they all have high impact moves. Like Clefable and Bronzong have Stealth Rock. Zong, if it needs to, it can explode. It can like set up Trick Room and go for like a Crawdaunt, do something with Crawdaunt and stuff. Like Clef with Life Orb, we all know that Clef is Clef. This he had his defensive core. While yeah, it switches into everything, it also threatens everything at the same time.
Yeah, his defensive core is not passive. Like it's not full of do nothing mons like Chansey and Hippowdon and stuff like that kind of just sit there and spam recover over and over. Like you said, high impact moves, T-Wave, Knockoff, Stealth Rock, even like Hypnosis, Volt Switch on Zapdos, who's also probably the best defogger in the format.
For sure, yeah.
The one thing I will say is that I feel like Mega Gallade, as good as it is on paper, once you really start to run the calcs, does kind of tend to flatter to deceive a bit and be a bit underwhelming. I don't know if it's just because the base power of its coverage moves
You'd probably
is
have to
pretty low. Or...
You'd have to go like you'd use like the what's it called, glass cannon set, close combat, poison jabs and headbutt. Like you'd have to go full offensive in this kind of environment.
Yeah, I agree. It has a lot of cool support moves like T-Wave, Will-O-Wisp, Wish, Destiny Bond, but I don't think it really has the bulk to pull them off. I think, like you said, it's better to just go offensive.
Yeah, the Destiny Bond, Iron Valiant Lop. Yeah. Next, I want to talk about TT, because this Lando, Weavile, Altaria, this guy he's evil. Volcarona. This like core Landorus, Weavile, Jirachi, Altaria, Volcarona is coming every game, and probably Tentacruel. Rotom Frost and Rampardos are probably just there to fill out the rest of the team. It's just gonna be this 6.
It's the aura pick. Rampardos gives the team aura. But I agree. This is a wicked team.
Yeah, dude, I could literally build this in OU and probably get like top 10. Like it's a really good pick. I think it reminds. I think I saw this being used in like tournament recently, something similar with Jirachi, Weavile, Landorus, Altaria, and I think Volcarona, and I think he had something else of a Tentacruel as like the spinner, probably Defog Zapdos or something. But it's nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's a really solid offensive build. I mean, we've talked a lot about how sometimes getting your offensive mons in on the field is a problem, but that's not going to be an issue when you have the, not even Volt Turn, the Turn core of Lando and Rachi, and then Weavile's like the perfect mon. Right, yeah, that too.
Like these two are really good into like everything, especially in this pool. Like Landorus comes in on the Landorus, U-turns out of Latias into Jirachi, U-turns out of Clefable into like Landorus, U-turns out of Clef into Rachi, out of Chomp into like, it's nice. I think probably I was gonna say that like he might have a problem facing off against like status like Will-O-Wisp and stuff, but he has Heal Bell Altaria, so like that's negated.
Yeah, and his defensive mons like Lando and Rachi, they're not really the type of mons that you use for a long battle to switch into stuff over and over. But on a team that's capable of generating this much momentum and hitting this hard off a single U-turn, it doesn't matter that he's not capable to switch into things over the course of a long game repeatedly. He only needs to get in Weavile 1-2 times. Band, yeah. And then just the sweeper core of Altaria, Volcarona, is going to put a lot of pressure on any kind of Scarfer or Revenge Killer.
This is genuinely, like, the more I look at this, the more scary it looks, because you have these two, like you have Landorus and Jirachi as your defensive, like they're gonna U-turn a bunch, like either one of them can be like, oh yeah, that's really nice. Like what I like about them is that they have overlap in their roles, but like because of their typing, it's a very different how they execute such roles. Because Jirachi could be the stealth rock U-turn, or Landorus could be the stealth rock U-turn, and then while one is stealth rocking, the other one is using choice scarf, and then they use that to get in Weavile to click choice band, icicle crash, or like weaken the opponent's team until either Altaria or Volcarona can like set up and sweep, and then Tentacruel is just there as your backup water resist, gets rid of your hazards, absorbs T spikes, can fire off 1 or 2 skulls, and then like it buys you turns and resists fairy for Altaria and Weavile. It's just there to buy you turns so that you can continue U-turning. It's really nice.
Yeah, all of the pieces on this draft, except maybe the last two, they feel very deliberate, like they were chosen for a very specific reason to how they contribute to how the team executes its game plan overall. I actually originally had his team ranked number 2 right before Hori, but the reason that I brought it down to number 4 was because of the hazard weakness. Tentacruel is the only spinner.
Yeah.
When you've got Volcarona, Weavile, Mega All is weak to rocks before it Mega Evolves. And so you're right, if he goes up against like a Fairthorn or a Clef or a Chansey or something that can set rocks and force out Tentacruel, it's gonna be long.
Yeah, if he's forced into a long game, he'll probably lose it. But if Tentacruel can buy enough tons, it just needs to buy like 2-3 tons of no rocks, so that one of the 3 like offensive guys can win, despite their rock in spite of their rock weakness, their stealth rock weakness.
Yeah, it's a good point. Like if I'm facing off against this guy, I'm gonna try and slow the game down as much as I can.
For sure. Okay. Is there anyone else that wanna? Oh yeah, Purbadge, however you pronounce that. PJ, let's just call him PJ. I like his draft. Very Gen 7 coded rather. Kyurem, Diancie, Rotom, Gliscor, Amoonguss, and then Gengar, Bishop, Axelgo. This is nice. He's still Bishop for me though,
I
so
agree.
I can't compliment him too much.
Yeah, I have him ranked 3rd. I agree that it's similar to TT's in a way where it's a similar strategy with Volturn, big breakers, and then good sweepers with Bisharp as well. But it does have a similar issue as far as Stealth Rock goes, since he actually has no removal at all, and his only way to prevent that in the first place is Magic Bounce Mega Diancie. But his only rock weak Mon is Kyurem, and it's a similar situation where he doesn't need a lot of turns to have an impact, to have a high impact and get shit going. So even if rocks are going up, if Kyurem is still only able to come in like 2-3 times, that's enough.
That's true. I like that. What's it called? He's similar to TT in that. Okay. Never mind. I was gonna compliment him and then I realized he has no removal, so he doesn't even have like the Tentacruel to like as the glue, as the staple, unless he runs Hyper Cutter. I don't know. But I think if he can, Kyurem gets Roost, so it's fine. What I like is he has crazy strong offense. These two are insane breakers, and then if you pair that with like Gengar, holy, like this guy is. I'm sorry when you face up against him because Kyurem is going 500 versus you, especially if he just runs special Ice Beam, Fusion Bolt, Hidden Power Fire. He doesn't even need anything else. Roost, and he's chilling versus you.
Don't worry, bro. Don't worry about it. I got the Mega Audino in the back. This is all calculated. I got nothing to worry about.
And then that paired with the Diancie, like there's a lot of. I like his draft. I guess it looks like his support roles are kind of missing. He doesn't have much like in the way of hazards outside of Gliscor, which always hates running hazards because it can't run Swords Dance. He doesn't have like good status absorb. It's I don't know. In a longer game, he might be cooked, but if he can close games in 30 turns, 20-30 turns, he's fine. He's totally fine.
Yeah, I agree. I do think there are some pretty big defensive holes though, like something like a DDT tar
Hmm.
or even an offensive SD Scissor looks almost impossible for him to combat. So his only way really is just to stop them from setting up in the first place. But
Yeah.
that's gonna be kind of difficult with some of the mons that he's got here.
Hmm. I think. Oh yeah. What's it called? When I look at this draft, it kind of looks like it's based off of the assumption that Rotom Wash lands Defog, but bad news. Anyway, yeah. Next guy on C. I think the rest of them are kind of like now getting into like the uncanny valley where it's like almost a good team, but like there's severe holes. Then I think the closest like to Pub is OG Red. He has a similar thing going on with Landorus, Scizor, Gothitelle. Did somebody tell him that Arena Trap or Shadow Tag is banned before I continue?
Shadow tag is allowed, bro.
Dude, what? Oh my
Did
god.
you not know this?
Dude, I thought it was banned. Oh, and he has Doug
Read-
Trio too. Oh hell no, he has Doug Trio, Ditto, and Gothit. Oh nah. Hey yo. Okay,
For
never mind.
fuck's sake, man, read the rules. I'm begging people to just fucking read the rules, dude.
Dude, oh my goodness. Okay, never mind. This is an S plus plus. How did we allow him to get both? Not just one, but both of the trappers.
I was gonna get Gothitelle, but he got it first, so I don't know. I'm looking at you guys on that one.
Hey, don't look at me, man. Everybody stole my picks. I was left with Empoleon and Moltres. Come on.
Bro, I am looking at you. You didn't even know Shadow Tag was legal, okay? So
I mean-
you take part of the blame here.
No, come on. You have to cut me some slack here. But anyway, I think if he's never bringing mine on, which he isn't, he's super solid into everything. Super solid
Hold
into
on.
everything.
Well, hold on. Look at his Thunderous check. Now look at Minun. You really gonna tell me it's never coming?
Hey yo. Oh, you might be onto something. Oh, you hold on. Let's actually see this. Wait, we need to confirm though. Does this have any ability in the way of? Let's see. Does it have lightning rod? Oh.
Bolt Absorb.
Does it get? Oh my goodness! Is it faster? Okay, it's slower. Oh, that would have been crazy. But like, if he gets into, I don't know. Nah, I'm not buying it because like, let's actually look at the calc. Minun. Unless he runs this set, like I have it on the recording. Protect, Toxic, Substitute, Encore. That's like the filler set for the calc. I don't know, man.
That's a good set.
Yeah, but even with max HP and everything, +2 Thunderous, Focus Blast versus 240 HP, 0 special defense, Minun, guaranteed Oko.
0 special defense. Hold on. Where if those EVs
Oh,
aren't
I forgot
going
his.
to spit up-
I forgot its draft. Let's see.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I put
yeah.
like a special defense boosting nature. No, this is still so over. Is there any? It does 70 minimum, dude.
He has an easy snack.
Dude, he'd rather just
Yeah,
go into Thunderous. It's faster and you can Stone Edge or something.
Now think about this though. If
Mhm.
the only way that he can get past Minun is by nasty plotting, then afterwards Ditto is gonna come in and reverse sweep him.
Gothitelle, you forget it's immune to Arena Trap because it's flying type. You'd have
Wait.
to
No,
Gothitelle.
I'm talking about Ditto, bro. Ditto.
Oh
not
yeah,
Dugtrio.
Ditto. Oh yeah. Oh, my bad. He could be what's it called? Quick Claw Ditto. So he doesn't have to lock into the move. So he doesn't have to lock. So he doesn't have to lock into the move.
It's true. He could be. He could be Quick Claw Ditto. We don't know. All right, bro. Hold on. This guy has Serp, Suicune, Lando Eye, which should never be allowed, by the way. Mega
Yeah.
Scizor, and we're focusing on Ditto and Minun. Let's talk about this at the top.
Dude, he has Doug to get rid of the Heatran. It's actually so over. Serp wins every single matchup. Like, oh my days. And he's facing off against... Dude, I feel so bad for Noah and Immortal, because once the Heatran gets deleted by Dugtrio, what are they doing versus Serp? It makes sense why they both got Rotom-Mow and Charizard X, because they need it. They need it for that.
Yeah, and I like how he has Scizor and Lando to knock stuff off as well in case people do want to bring Shed Shell. Because I feel like that's the big criticism of trappers in draft always is like, LOL, just bring Shed Shell. First of all, that item is completely useless aside from dodging trapping.
Yeah.
And second of all, he has 2 good knockoff users that impose themselves and actually force you to come in and lose your item. Not to mention, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 good setup sweepers with Lando, Sizz, Serp, and Suicune. It's going to be really difficult to have a team of 6 that doesn't get shit trapped and can not just outright lose to one of those setup sweepers.
Landorus clicks substitute. What does everybody else do once that happens? Because it's genuinely game over. You just click, because the substitute Life Orb, Earth Power, Sludge Bomb, and like Focus Blast. That set is kind of crazy.
Focus Blast, yeah. Hidden Power, Rock Slide if they have AV Torn.
Yeah, for sure. I like this draft. When you don't focus on the fact that he has Minun and Ditto and... Well, it's just Minun. When you don't focus on the fact that he has Minun, this is a really good draft.
I will say it's, as far as roles go, your only stealth rockers being Doug and Lando is kind of shitty because neither of those are particularly good rockers, and Lando especially really doesn't want to be relegated to...
Ditto is
okay. All right.
You need a stealth rocker, Ditto. You need a defogger, Ditto. You need a or you're facing off versus the Heatran and you don't have a fire resist, Ditto, bro.
The Serp Suicune core is wicked as well when it comes to special walls, like stuff like Venusaur, Chansey. They can beat one of them, but it's going to be really hard for them to beat both of them and also not get trapped in the process.
I think his draft is really weak to God of War. Like, yeah, he has Scizor, but like Scizor will get overwhelmed when it also has to check other stuff. Like, never mind, it's not checking anything else. But God of War can get, like, God of War catches it with Will-O-Wisp on the Switch, and it's kind of game over at that point. So he has to watch out for
I was going to say, I'm not even thinking about Scizor when it comes to the guard matchup. I'm just letting something die, and then I'm removing it with Adamant CB Dougie.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's genuinely the line. But I guess, yeah, I think this draft is funny because he can get away with a lot of cheating just by the fact that he has 2 trappers. So he has a lot of cheating potential.
What?
I mean, yeah, he has poor defensive integrity. Like, every single time insert Pokemon gets a kill, he doesn't care because he just goes into his trapper and deletes it. Like, Charizard X kills Minun, Sash Dugtrio, or Ditto or something. Oh my goodness, God forbid he gets Charizard X on the after the DD, because what is the Dragon resist on this team? But anyway,
his Dragon resist is Ditto, bro.
I think we spent too much time talking about this garbage Dugtrio, Ditto, Minun, Gothitto. Let's get out of here, dude. Let's talk about something else.
All right, let's talk about the guy next to him. I'm Mortal.
Just call him Immortal. I don't know why he's trying to be schizo with this username, but whatever.
Oh wait, you're right, dude. I'm so fucking stupid. This whole time I've been reading it. I'm Mortal.
No, it's right. Just Immortal.
Bro, I'm actually stupid.
Not gonna lie, the first like 3-4 guys, the first 3 for sure is like incredible. Gardevoir, Keldeo, Heatran, that's a great offensive core. And then Donphan is good removal, gives you rocks in the same slot. Rotom-Mow, now we're starting to understand that you had to make some price cuts because of the first 3. And then Skarmory is actually a really decent peak. pick because of spikes. Spikes are always good.
Yeah, I like this team overall. It's got really good type synergy with the Fire, Water, Grass core. It is a bit slow. Keld being the fastest Mon is a little bit suspect. My biggest issue is kind of like the pace mismatch where Skarm wants to play long games, but Guard and Keld really want to play shorter games. And if Skarm gets stuck in the loop where it's just like spamming Roost, he doesn't really have a good way to get out of that necessarily. But Keld, like you said,
pivot.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess Rotom Mo kind of.
Nah, that guy wants to run offensive, dude. Choice scarf and stuff. But I guess it's game dependent.
Yeah, I mean it is a good Volt switcher to get in Guard and Keld though. I just feel like this team is a bit kind of slow and lacking in dynamism. Like if the opponent gets momentum, it might be hard for him to regain it. But overall, I had it ranked 7.
I think
so. I still rate it quite highly. But sorry, go ahead.
This team, I like at that point when you said dynamism, because it reminded me that this team is it's very linear. There's not much like experimentation or like flexibility here. Like Kelio is doing the same thing. It has like 3 sets and like half the moves are the same each time. Heatran, I mean, yeah, it can get a little creative, but it doesn't have stuff like, it doesn't have options like 70 base power, hidden power. It doesn't have Gen 4 explosion. Donphan is always gonna do the same thing every game. Rotom again is like Heatran, doesn't really have much to do. Skarmory, unless he has to, I think he'd probably have to like go with the offensive lead Skarmory, like max attack, max speed, Spike, Stealth Rock, Taunt, Brave Bud at like Helmet or Custard Berry or Salak Berry or something. Like he'd have to really go offensive with this team to make it work, because he doesn't have much in the way. Like if he gets forced into like like you said, the defensive loop with Skarmory, he's kind of cooked because he has no outs of that. There's no way to escape it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good point you made about the suicide lead Skarm. I feel like this team it's kind of too slow, not just in terms of base speed, but in terms of the overall pace that the Mons want to play at. It's a bit too slow to go like
as well. There's not much flexibility.
Yeah. It's too rigid, and then it's like it's caught in two minds between wanting to play the long game with like Skarm, Tran, Donphan, but then also wanting to play a quick game. But then it lacks tools like Regenerator or Magic Guard or something like Toxic Orb, Gliscor, that those sorts of middle ground pace teams, bulky offense balance type stuff need to thrive. But that being said, the individual quality of the Mons is still really good, and I do rate this draft.
For sure. I think we don't have that much many to go off. I think we can just finish it like each pool. We finish with Noah, then we go to David, and then Mimikyu, Stardust, then Aspie, then Zinc, and then 2 last. So anything you want to say about Noah's?
The one thing I will say, I've got to head out for just a minute, but I'll be right back. The one thing I'll leave you with to go off by yourself is that look at. I
don't mind pausing.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, we'll pause it and then we'll come back. Okay, so we're back. Needed to take a bathroom break, but we're not like BKC, so we actually pause it on this channel. So yeah, one Noah, the guy with Tornadoes, Heatran, Charizard X. I don't know, man. Something smells fishy, especially when I start looking down and I see Espeon and Hawlucha. I don't know, man.
Dude, I can tell you exactly what's fishy about this team. His hazard removal is Espeon.
Oh my god, it's hopes and dreams, bro. Dude, that's actually crazy. Tornadoes, Charizard, oh my goodness, Charizard before Mega as well, and then Thundurus are both like they're all of them weak to hazards. Heatran is famously ruined by Stealth Rock. Okay, that's a bit harsh, but like, yeah, you're right on that point. He doesn't have good hazard removal, and he doesn't have enough offense to compensate for it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, if he, I don't know. I don't know. Be
the whole time.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's like it's a good team. It just has that one outstanding flaw that makes me not really rate it. The whole time when he was drafting, I kept thinking like, when is he gonna get a defogger? Like, surely it's got to be this round. Surely it's got to be this round, and then he
Does,
just never got one.
does Holucha learn defog? That's actually
It,
funny.
it doesn't. I checked.
Dude, God, that's so unfortunate. The Espion defog is genuinely not the route. That's actually tragic. Do I not have this thing on
Yeah.
here?
So for
No, I forgot.
sorry.
I forgot to add his team onto this. Oh wow. It's okay. I'm gonna look at it like while you talk about it. So yeah, continue.
Yeah, I was gonna say that any rocker which can set them up versus Espeon, which is a lot of them, especially stuff like T-Tar, Heatran, Empoleon, it's gonna be a problem because as you say, Zard has essentially like one chance to set up.
And it has to
Torn
like
is a great. You're right. It has to make it count.
Yeah.
If it doesn't like sweep the whole team right there, it's
It's
probably not coming in again.
because it's also gonna take like recoil from Flare Blitz and kill itself in the process of trying to break the opponent's team. Like if they can manage to survive Charizard's onslaught, it's over. Like it's game over at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily go quite that far because he does still have some good setup sweepers like Thundurus and Hawlucha. But as far as I don't know, dude. I really wish that he had a defogger because there is some great synergy here. Like I like the Firewater Grass Core, Seismitoad and Heatran are good rockers. He's got good speed tiers with Torn, Espeon, and then Thundurus. I like the double regen core with Tangrowth and Torn, but it's just so weak to Stealth Rock, man.
He can only like I get your point. Yeah, the team it's like it has good synergy. Like I don't want to say it's one of those weird balances with like a Wincon and Zardex, but then it has that like I don't know what to call it Achilles heel because the team is not strong enough to be Achilles. It's genuinely a fatal flaw, that Stealth Rock weakness, because rocks go up and he's on a timer and his team is not strong enough, fast enough to win before the timer ends.
Right, it's like he was trying to do something similar to what we talked about earlier with TT, except TT has Tentacruel, and he has stuff like Volcarona that can end the game in a single turn, and he doesn't have either of those.
It's not that TT has just Volcarona, it's like he has a combination of Pokemon that can win the game on a single turn. Altaria, Volcarona, Weavile, and then when you pair them with the U-turn core, he doesn't really have that. Like I guess Thundurus can Volt Switch, but there's no other setup like threat other than like Thundurus. But like it's not, I don't know. It's not enough. It's just not enough. Like Espeon is not enough. That's all I can say. It's not enough.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he does have Hawlucha as a dedicated setup sweeper for that role, but even with that, it's not enough. I also don't like how, apart from his two setup guys in Zardex and Hawlucha, he doesn't really have any physical breakers. So if you have a physical wall like a Slowbro or whatever, when Zard or Lucha finally do set up, it's probably going to be coming in at 100% because it hasn't been forced in by anything before that.
Yeah, there's nothing really like chipping down those physically defensive threats. Like he'd have to run Outrage on Zardex and really full send it. Like he has to go 100%, 1000% on that line. Because I probably like I think we're being a smidge too harsh because he still has like some counterplay to rocks in Taunt, Tornadus. Heatran with Taunt, it's faster than all the rockers except for like Garchomp and Exca and Landorus. Taunt, Thund, but like it's not enough.
Yeah, I agree. I think we are being a little bit uncharitable here, just kind of like assuming that Stealth Rock is always going to be up because it's not when he has Espeon, he has Taunt Torn, like you said, and he has setup guys like Zard, Lucha, and Thundurus that can punish you for going for Stealth Rock, but at the end of the day, it's just not enough. It's not a consistent game plan, I don't think.
Yeah, he kind of has to just all or nothing on Charizard, and then hope Holucha can like clean up. Holucha or Thunder. Like Thunderous is a good breaker in its own right, but like I don't think the support is necessarily there. It's I'm probably sleeping on it a bit, but it's like it's just not enough. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it.
It's a great mon, but it's just gonna have trouble getting in on the field. Like the only pivots he has are both weak to rocks. I mean, Torn has regen, to be
Yeah.
fair, but even still, this team really needs like, I mean, it just needs a defogger, dude. That's
Just
it.
just the one, and it's fine. Like just why did they give Dawn defog this gen?
I don't know, man. If he had gotten a defogger, so I rank this team 13th out of
Mhm.
16, so fourth from the bottom for me.
Mhm.
But if you replace, I don't know, Thunderous with, let's say, Zapdos, it immediately shoots up like 5 or 6 places minimum.
That's true, because at least you have the defog. So at least you have the defog to let you play more balanced, as opposed to trying to like full send with like not that much offensive pressure. Next up we have
Yeah.
since we're going down like the list in like order now, we have David, who has one of the teams that was drafted. That's for sure.
All right, so there's some context, there's some backstory here.
I'd love
David
to hear
is okay. All right, he didn't quite use a randomizer. We're not on that level, but he's, as far as I know, never played a game of ORAS in his life. He's a Gen 3 player and a Gen 3 offense player in particular. And the problem with being an offense player in Gen 3 is that the best wall breakers you have are all kind of, I don't want to say dog shit, but they're all flawed in some way, like CBT Tar, where it has no dark move and its best option is Rock Slide. Like, other than that, Baton Pass Zapdos, Focus Punch Zard, like
yeah,
these are
like
not serious
the offense is very
mons.
different back then than nowadays.
And so you can understand why if you're an offense player in Gen 3 and you come to Gen 6,
And you see
you
all
want to draft. You should, is it starting to make sense now?
yeah, I understand. It's like a kid at a candy store, but then he forgot that he needs his veggies and nutrients as well.
No, bro, he didn't forget. He just didn't care. I'm gonna tell you right now. In his own words, this is a direct quote. He wants a 7-year-old to be able to play his draft.
Okay, nah, that's fine. I think then we'll have to grade it on that, because if we're basing it off of that, this is it's a crazy like the offense is like off the charts. Gardevoir is the top Pokemon in the tier for a reason. Latios, when in a tier with like, I won't say Pursuit doesn't exist. Like a lot of the time, you know you're not gonna face Pursuit. Greninja got banned for a reason. It's still good even without Protean. Infernape, oh my, like CB Tita, and then like now we can try Cheese with the Wobbuffet and Smeargle to try and what's it called? To what is it saying? Yeah, Smeargle to like set up like Sticky Web or something, and then call it a day.
Yeah, so the whole idea behind his draft is that he wanted Pokemon where you don't have to think and you only have to click one button with them. So Gardevoir, you just click the funny hyper voice button. Latios, Specs Draco, Greninja. So he actually thought you could run Protein because yet again, people don't read the fucking rules.
That's funny.
But like Ape, these are all mons that just click one button and they get shit done.
I
But
mean
then-
that's fair. Like let's be kind on him and ignore the defensive non-existence of this team.
I don't think we can ignore it, bro. I think we have to mention it at least.
Okay.
Why is this man's physical wall like Latios?
Dude, it's CB Tita. No wait, Tita is weak to every physical
CB
attack.
Tita.
Never mind.
Which is right, which is weak to every physical attack.
Just go Wobbuffet and trap them, dude.
Until they U-turn out. Because his U-turn switch-in is Infernape.
Dude, it's actually a dire situation.
Yeah. Any fairy move, any setup sweeper,
Oh my god,
any scarfer,
God
even.
forbid he faces opposing. He's so, oh my, dude, you don't know how lucky. In fact, because when I face him, I'm gonna use Choice Specs Togetic with Dazzling Gleam. Someone has to be taught a lesson. Because dude, the fairy resistance is like, oh my goodness, he's I don't know how, even I can't even put into words how lucky he is. He dodged all the Diancie and God of War players.
Dude, I just want you for 1 sec to take a look at Kaio.
Mhm.
Take a look at that Excadrill. Now look back to David Bierman.
Dude, it's he doesn't even have to bring his own Tita. Bierman will set it up for him.
Yeah, that's the best part. He sets sand for the other guy. Like, how nice of you.
No, this is so mean, dude. Poor David, dude. At least he's having fun. He's in the Nyleos category of like, yeah, they just wanted to have fun, and that's okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. At the end of the day, like, it's a game, and we play games because they're fun. So
For
if
sure.
you have fun drafting 5 wall breakers with 0 synergy,
Dude, have at it.
then go
dude.
for it, dude.
Go crazy.
Well, it's definitely, and I'll close it off by saying this. It's an aura draft. This draft has incredible levels of aura, and despite the flaws, nobody is excited to play this. Like, building a team that can even attempt to switch into those first 5 wall breakers is gonna be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I might, as much as I'm making fun, when I actually have to play versus David, oh my god. Oh my days.
Exactly.
Like, how am I gonna switch into all of these at the same time? At least I have like a solid defensive core that resists everything. At least I got that sorted out, because if you don't, like, Kaio, yeah, sure, Excadrill sweeps, but he can't switch into anything to get Excadrill activated. You get.
Yeah, and every time Exca gets a kill, like, Specs Latios can punish it. It can live one. Wobbuffet can potentially trap it.
Or like
Scarf
Inferno
Bren can maybe
Mach Punch
outspeed.
or something.
Yeah, Iron Fist Mach Punch. So it's not as hopeless as we're making it out to be, but
It's still,
at the end of the day, when your U-turn switching is Smeargle, it's rough.
his team is literally just glass cannons. It's a fortress it's a fortress with like nuclear bombs, but made out of glass.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Next up, Mimikyu Stardust, Latios Greninja, Mega Arrow, Slowbro, Seismitoad, Scizor, Roselia, and Crustle. Something's going on here. I'm telling you. All these Latios Greninja people. Latios and Greninja were drafted twice on the same teams. I'm smelling something.
Bro, I'm yet again smelling a lack of fairy switch-ins. I mean, at least he's got Scizor and Roselia.
Yeah.
But let me not focus on that, because this is a very good team, in my opinion. It's kind of like an unconventional draft with the triple water, with Arrow as the Mega, with Scizor as the only steal. But I do think it's quite difficult to play against. Latios, Gren, Arrow, his team is super fast. He's got good Stealth Rockers, an Arrow and Seismitoad, good U-turn to get his breakers on the field with Scizor. And despite the fact that it's triple water, they're really not stacking weaknesses
they all do
as
different
much as you
things.
might expect.
They all do different things.
Yeah.
I really like his draft. His draft is like the quintessential draft. Like, this is, when I think of draft league, like, yeah, I'm expecting to see a team like this, because it checks off all the boxes and it doesn't look like something you'd see in OU or like some other tier.
Right, yeah, compared to like any OU build, it is quite unconventional, but I agree. It does check all the boxes as far as the important roles go. And as someone who has to play him in pools, I was just doing like an initial kind of plan, and it's really not an easy team to plan against. It's fast. Not easy to break. Yeah.
Just go man of Vitailgulo and like GG, well played.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're yeah. We'll talk.
Sure. Okay. I think there's not really much to say here, because it's like It's very straightforward, simple, and like good. It's a good draft. There's nothing else you can say about it. It's good.
Yeah, so I mean, it's funny you say that. I had him right in the middle of the 16 as rank 8 because I agree. It's not necessarily outstanding in some of the other ways that some of the top 4 drafts that we talked about are, but it checks all the boxes. It has enough offense to really put a strain on your builder, but also a defensive core that isn't easy to break with the double waters backed up by the grass resist and Scizor and Latios. Really fast.
For sure. Is there anything else you can say? Not really. I want to go into Asby and Zinc because these do have like some weirdo teams. I think let's talk about Asby last and then we talk about Zinc first because I want to get Zincs out of the way.
All right, take it away.
Garchomp, Gallade, Rotom, Sylveon, incredible start. This is a really good this is an OU core with like Sylveon, and it's like you have good coverage, like you cover a lot of stuff defensively. All we need now is like a real ground immune. We need like a grass resist, probably we need a steel type, and then we're sorted. So he has Empoleon as the steel type. He has Drapion as the grass resist, and then Golbat as the ground immune. Something went left here. I want to say that something went left. Something went like.
I completely agree, bro. Something went left.
Something went
little
left.
brother took the computer.
Something. I feel like he probably was. But then like when you look at Pool 2, dude, who was stealing anything? Like there was nothing. Let's actually look at Pool 2 because I wanna confirm some biases that I have. Like there's so many of these 16 pointers, 15 pointers, 14 pointers, 13 pointers that could have solved a lot of these issues. Like Ferrothorn was not picked at all in Pool 2. He could just go Ferrothorn over Empoleon and then like some other 4 guys like last. Like something was happening in Pool 2 and I don't want to be involved in that. That's where the real Diddy party was.
For those that don't know, P. Diddy is the official mascot sponsored of the Night Show. So it's something. There's a freak off going on in Pool 2.
Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
know, bro.
This is all I can say is that when they were drafting in Pool 2, there was a lot of baby oil. There was a lot of baby oil because something went wrong. Something went very wrong here.
No, so I agree completely. Like when I was just initially looking at things in the first half of the draft, I was saying that Zinc was number 1 above everybody else with those first 4. Like that's an extremely well-rounded, difficult to switch into, good kind of roll compression type core. But then it all went south with Emp when he could have gotten something like Ferrothorn or Scizor. Instead, the double poison core, even if they don't share any weaknesses, which is kind of cool, I don't know that they're particularly useful in general, if I'm being honest. I mean, Drapion is nice for the T-Spikes Pursuit, but the team doesn't really necessarily need Pursuit. And then Golbat as a fairy check when you already have Emp, which is one of the best fairy checks, completed with Sceptile, which I think is just kind of underwhelming by Gen 6 standards. It did fall off a bit compared to the strong
by
start.
any standards, really. But yeah, something definitely went left. I think maybe his alter ego like kicked in and like tried to self-sabotage his really good draft, because otherwise he had a really good thing going on.
I mean, the first 4, like you said, are really good. I just kind of struggle to see like a complete 6 that really compels me, because even with Emp as the steel type, having double water when you're only electric switch in is Garchomp.
Yeah, bad news, really bad news.
I mean, I get Emp over Pharaoh for the defog as well as the fact that it's less points, but
yeah, But like something, I don't know. The last three, we could have done better. But that's enough on this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he even left 1 point on the table there, so he had what 18 points
Oh,
between three mons there. And if you look at some of the stuff that didn't get drafted, that could have helped him. Like
dude,
off the
the
top
eighth.
of my
When I
head,
see
let's
there's only like what 4 Pokemon that were picked in the 9 point category, 3 that were picked in 8 points. Like something went wrong here.
imagine if he had, let's say, like a Bisharp or a Breloom
Yeah,
instead there, or even like an Amoonguss as one poison instead of both of them, or Bronzong as a budget steal
Among
instead
Us
of the
doubles as the grass
Empoleon.
type, and then you have like Bronzong as your steel and also your ground immune. Like there's something that could have been. Or you could have even gone Skarmory because he has enough. Like his team is not necessarily, it doesn't really require offense to like make it so that Skarm doesn't isn't a bad pick. Like he could have gone Skarm as the steel, Among Us, Empoleon, and then figure out some NFE or something as the last one, and that would be probably fine.
Yeah, even something like a Bisharp, I think I would have preferred over Drapion as a
Hmm.
dark type. As good as this team is, and it is good at generating momentum with Rotom and taking advantage of it with big hitters, I feel like it doesn't necessarily have a great tool to clean up games. It doesn't have something like a strong priority user or a mon that really loves running Scarf.
Yeah,
So
he just missed the mark. That's
yeah,
really it.
it yeah, it just missed the mark. I mean, it's certainly not a bad team. I had it ranked 9 out of 16, so kind of right in the middle of the pack.
Hmm.
But it could have been handled better, especially with those last 3 picks, I feel.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, Asby, who unironically, this is pretty good. Like when I at first I looked
Really?
at it, I thought it was weird, but like it's actually started to click for me a bit on this.
All right, so I'm gonna need you to explain the vision, because honestly, I'm not seeing it, bro.
Because you see, the thing is, he has Clefable and Landorus. Those are always gonna be good. I don't even know how. I'm not even gonna question how Charizard was the last pick, but like, sure, man, that happened. Raikou, okay. Livani and Cresselia are really good on like Sun. Landorus appreciates water being weakened. It appreciates the water resist in Cresselia and Latias. With Cresselia and Clefable on the same like team, he can run more offensive Latias, which is like super underexplored. Like choice, like he could go like DPP direction. Choice specs like Calm Mind, Life Orb. He also has like some speed in Raikou. Like it's pretty decent. It's just like I don't know. It feels weird because you don't really have much on the physical side, and then he's also super exploitable in terms of like everything. There's no real like defensive check. Like Cresselia is a master of what's it called? Jack of all trades and master of none defensively.
Yeah, I honestly I didn't even think about the Sun dynamic. I was really wondering what Cress and Leavanny were even doing on this team. But now that you explain it with the Sun, that does
It makes
make
sense,
sense.
right?
Leavanny gets chlorophyll, right?
Yeah, it does. It does. It's chlorophyll and sticky web and like sleep powder and stuff. It's actually pretty
Oh,
cool.
okay.
It's just missing out on what's it called?
I think
Solar Blade. That's it.
yeah, because what it would be Leaf Blade in this
Yeah,
gen, right?
yeah.
What's its base attack?
Let's see.
Oh, bro, it's not high.
Okay, don't let me surprise myself. Let's see this. When it stops lagging, maybe we'll see it. Maybe. Maybe one day. I wonder why it's lagging so much now. It is running really smoothly after before.
It's just building the suspense for the big reveal.
I'm scared now because like I can close this tab and probably save some resources there. Okay, yeah, cool.
Why does this mon have the base stats of like a Route 1 bug?
Because it is a Route 1 bug. It's like the Butterfree of the it's literally the Beedrill of uh-oh. You
Is
can
it?
wait for it to become responsive or exit the page. Good game, well played. Let me close this tab. Okay, let's try it. Let's try open this again. I don't know why it's giving up on me now, but like, okay. It's okay. We'll figure something out. Okay. I don't know why it's taking super long, but like, okay, you could just tell us. You can tell the people what its base attack is while I try and figure out why it's lagging so much.
So, I mean, I was expecting a big 130. It's 103, which isn't terrible, but when you've got Leaf Blade as your best stab move, is it though?
It doesn't really need to do much, dude. I mean, it's like, it's... Okay, never mind, it sucks. No. Hold on.
Yeah, dude,
It's the same, it's the same as... It's the same as... What's it called? It's the same as... It's the same as, dude. Why is my brain like not working? It's the same as Greninja. Greninja has base 103 special attack. It's not. That's pretty good.
But Greninja uses Hydro Pump, which is 120 base power and gets a bunch of coverage moves. This thing
it also
is
uses
relying on Leaf
Dark
Blade.
Pulse. That's a move Greninja uses. Anyway,
Yeah,
I mean, stop lagging. Let's see its physical move pool. It has knockoff.
Right,
that's
the issue.
Oh, it doesn't get Leaf Blade. Never mind. Good game, well played.
Wait, hold on.
Dude, its best grass move is Seed Bomb. This is not even like the high crit chat. Like, okay, yeah, this guy is in dire need of the Gen 9 buffs and stuff. This is actually sad.
It does get Leaf Blade, bro.
No, it doesn't. Gen 6.
I'm looking at it right now.
No, I changed it to Gen 6 draft. It doesn't get Leaf Blade.
I think somebody hacked your computer, bro, because I'm looking at it right now.
I'm opening it in OU. No. Oh, it does get Leaf Blade. Wait, no. The thing is, hold on. It's because they had it in, dude. They had Leaf Blade in usually useless moves. Dude, get out! What are you even doing? It
is useless if it's on this shit Pokemon.
I mean, okay, yeah, no, but like, why do they have the seed? Nah, I just noticed that's suspicious, dude. That's heavily suspect. There's an agenda. But anyway, yeah.
But why is Leavanny getting the spotlight right now on a team with Zard and Clef?
Oh yeah, and the potential specs or Life Orb Latias. This is a pretty decent draft. I think. Oh yeah, there's also, we've not even talked about Archeops. That guy is a crazy suicide. Just click head smash and like claim kills.
I mean, I like the Sun dynamic. It's really cool, but I feel like there's a bit too many utility Pokemon. Like Leavanny, I'm assuming the main reason he drafted it was for the Sticky Web. Clef, Lando, Lottie can go offensive, and especially in the case of Lottie, those sets are good, but a lot of the time they want to be running more utility-based options. I don't really get the Crest pick, even with the Sun dynamic, because I feel like the reason I would draft Crest at least is for the fighting resist, ground immune, good kind of blanket check as a physical wall, but he's got Clef, Lando, and Latias who together do exactly that.
Cresselia was what's it called? I want to say it was overkill. He doesn't need it at all. I think that was just a
definitely overkill. And then when it comes to breaking special walls like Chansey, anything along those lines, I think it might be a bit difficult. The hazard removal situation also isn't great. He does have Archeops as a potential suicide lead, like you said, to prevent them from going up in the first place. But Latias as the only defogger, when it otherwise would be able to afford to run an offensive set, is now going to be relegated to a defogger because he doesn't have anything else that can do it. It just feels like a bit of a mismatch. I think the first three are great, but the lack of a proper steel type, the lack of a defogger, the double up in Lottie, Cress,
and
just
Clef at the same time.
Just kind of misses the mark for me a little bit.
It's almost there, but it's definitely better than Zinx once you realize like the Sun potential with Leavanny. And
I still rate Zinx above this, to be
He has
honest.
Drapion and Golbat. There's no way I'm rating that over the Charizard Y team.
He has
Never,
Leavanny.
never,
He
never,
has
never.
Leavanny and Archeops, bro.
Yeah, at least Leavanny has, what's it called? It has, dude, Archeops has been used in SPL. Ever since I saw that, I've stopped hating on him. Because it's actually, like, and it's also, what's it called? Suicide Leap potential. And it frees up rocks on Landorus so you can run Swords Dance Lando. It's that's just, I guess that's just fighting over, like, a homeless man calls another homeless man broke or something.
No, I hear you on the Suicide Leap point, but I don't think this team is fast-paced enough to really want to run that sort of thing. Not with
Yeah,
Cress
true.
and Clef.
Yeah, fair. That's a fair point. I think that's it for the rest. Now it's time to talk about our drafts, and let's start with yours since you're the guest.
All right, so going into this, I felt like Excadrill and San was going to be an incredibly strong strategy. We already talked about all the reasons why Exca is a well-rounded mon as far as the Fairy Switch-in, Volt Turn resistance, of course Rapid Spin, and then when you also turn it into a Deadly Sweeper in one roll,
Yeah.
it was really appealing for me, and I really wanted it. But despite that, I still opted for Torn as the first, because I feel like, generally speaking, as good as Excadrill is, this format has a lot of really good offensive dudes. But as we've seen from some of these teams, if you don't have the right pieces in place to actually get them on the field and put them in the position to go for attacks, their potential is going to be limited. And so if you get Torn first, you can put any breaker with it, and it's always going to thrive. Plus, I had a feeling that Exca might be available second round. And then from there, I wanted Ferrothorn as a secondary steal, because with Exca as your only steal, you run the risk of forcing it into a defensive role, like a Fairy Switch-in, Dragon Switch-in, whatever.
And you miss out on
But
a
when
lot
I
of
have...
its, like, offense.
Exactly, and the offense is the main reason why I'm even drafting it in the first place.
Yeah.
Same thing goes for Manaphy, because I don't want to draft Manaphy and then just be forced to run like a rest U-turn set every time because I need a water resist.
So garbage.
So,
I would hate that.
yeah, so that's why Pharaoh is there as well for spikes, because spikes are spikes, and then Hippo the Sand Setter.
Yeah, I really like
Go ahead.
that compression of, like, Ferrothorn is your steal as well as your water resist, so Excca and Manaphy can run offensive. That's super, like, I love when that happens. When you can get, like, that one Pokemon that can, like, overlap. Like, you have two offensive guys that have somewhat, like, useful defensive utility, but if you find, like, something that can you combine those two, oh, it's like drugs.
I don't know if I would say all that, bro, but yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. And Hippo for 9 points is a steal, bro. Even if T-Tar was the same price, I'd still prefer Hippo, because as linear as it is, it's so good at what it does, which is just blanket checking like every physical attacker in the game, along with Torn to do the same for special attackers.
It adds on to the, what's it called, the Ferrothorn role of, like, Excca doesn't have to do its job as a defensive ground type at all. It's like the ground type is you I like that you really focused on, like, I want to use offensive Excca. That's really nice.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Hippo can even support it in the sense of, like, toxicking a Lando or whirlwinding a Skarm as it switches in to get chip for Excca.
Yeah.
And then for Hoopa, I felt like I had kind of all the support. Like, I had the spin, the pivot, the water resist, the sweeper, the reliable stealth rocker phasing, and I just needed something that could do big damage. And Hoopa is fucking stronger than Rayquaza and Deoxys, so why is it legal in the first place? Why is it 12 points? And why was it available this late?
We'll find out during the actual, like, season. You'll find out.
So tell me, bro, what do you think of this draft?
I like it. I'm a big fan. like Weezing and Mega Audino. I'm not even gonna talk about them because those are clearly like your hand was forced because our draft is actually like
Whoa. Those are
our
valuable pieces, bro. Hold
yeah
on.
yeah sure whatever man and Weedle is Ubers whatever.
No, Wheezing is mostly there because apart from Wheezing, my only fighting resist is Torn. And also look at Scizor and look at my team without Wheezing there.
Yeah, that's fair. And then you're part of that
And
weirdo crew of
Audino,
like mega last pick weirdos.
bro. Audino, Walls, Kyurem Black. It has the special defense of Chansey, the physical defense of Skarmory. It has the Moonblast of Mega Gardevoir and the Roost of Lugia. This is an underrated mod. 3 points.
Whoa. There's a lot of assumptions being made here. Some of these things must be. Some of these things must be. Some of these things must be fact checked. Moonblast illegal. You're stuck with Dazzling Gleam, buddy. For recovery, you're stuck with Wish Protect. Please, man. Understand.
That's all it needs.
Understand. You're not that guy. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
Bro, I just tried to look it up on data and it showed me Mega Drain.
Yeah, pack it up.
No, but okay. It does have, in my defense, 103 HP, 126 defense, and 126 SPDF, 80 SPDF, along with Wish, Encore, Heal Bell, Knock Off, both screens. It gets Regenerator before it Mega Evolves. It is a good kind of catch-all defensive answer into things like Kyurem Black, Diancie. It's customizable in that sense, and for 3 points, I mean 3 points.
I think. Oh, whoa.
You gotta.
I didn't know it was 3 points. That's actually good. Right now I'm showing something to the screen because I'm not screen sharing because of like my performance and whatever. I just remember there's a set you can run: Calm Mind, Training Kiss, Flamethrower, Surf with like max. Oh, sorry, I have hiccups. I don't know why. With like max. This could actually be decent. Like it could be all right, but like it's an Audino Mega. There's only. Excuse me. I need to pause and get some water for this. But like, let me just say, there's only so much it can do.
There's only so much it can do, but I still think it has a role here. I mean, aside from Audino, I really don't have a good switch into things like a Hydreigon Dark Pulse or Kyurem Black Ice Beam. Yeah, and as far as a physical Dark Resist goes, Hippo and Pharaoh should be able to cover it, so I'm not too worried about it losing to stuff like Weavile or Bisharp, which, I mean, it certainly does. But I think as a double regen pivot with Torn, as a kind of situational blanket special check to Thundurus, to Volcarona, to Alakazam, it's not a complete joke. So let's show a little bit of respect.
Yeah, it's
I'm not going
alright.
to do too much.
It's decent.
For 3 points.
Yeah, for 3 points it's fine. But like
okay. The last thing I'll say before we can move on to your draft is that in the last ORAS Cup, like the official Smogon one with like 200 or 300 people, the runner-up, the guy who made finals, used Mega Audino, and I saw some of those replays, and it's actually not a joke. Like he was bringing it in versus Kyurems and shit like that.
You'd have to show me that after this. Like you'll send me some replays. I don't mind. I'm actually an Audino fan. It's just like, dude, sometimes it's like, I don't know. Anyway, it's all right. I'm gonna pause and get some water. I don't know why, but like, I have hiccups all of a sudden. So like, I need to sort that out. Okay, guys, I had to pause because I had really, really bad hiccups. It was actually super annoying. I had to go and drink up like a bunch of water. But we should be good now. Is there anything else you want to say about your draft before we conclude with mine?
No, go ahead.
Okay. My draft is kind of, it looks a lot like a balanced team because it is, and then also once you start looking down, this is literally just an RU team. Registeel, Venusaur, Moltres, Togetic. I think Togetic is used in RU. I wouldn't know, but like, dude, I was so many times I was robbed that I had to just start picking like these. I want to say they're hidden gems because there are some ideas that I have with these Pokemon that I want to show off in their battles that are really cool. But like, what I like is that my team is not slow at all. I have Chomp, I have Megalopony, Mew is base 100 speed, Moltres is like, I think it hits 306, it's like base 90 or something. Venusaur, that's pretty decent. Like, I'll just share one of the ideas. One of the ideas I had was with this team was like Scarf, Venusaur with like fast Will-O-Wisp, Moltres, and maybe like Choice Specs and Polion. And then Togetic is like my defogger, and then Registeel is just there because I needed a steel type last. It's really, really fun. Like, once I started looking at like different sets I can run on this, I really like my draft. But I don't think it's necessarily like top 5, but it's like, it's a solid example of what balance should look like, because I don't, it's not like I'm bowled over by anything.
Yeah,
So,
one thing I quite like about your draft is similar to what we talked about earlier with Mo, in that your opponents have to account for every Mon coming, maybe not quite as much Togetic to the same extent, but you've got a lot of options. Do you remember off the top of your head a few of the Mons you wanted originally that got taken?
I remember. I had wanted, instead of Empoleon, I wanted to pick what's it called, Metagross and Seismitoad, but then because Seismitoad was taken, I had to settle for Empoleon, because I can't pick Metagross, because now I'll be really like, I'll be stumped to find a good water type. So like, I wanted Metagross as like, because it can run stuff like Choice Band, Pursuit, Assault Vest, Stealth Rock, and then it also has, it's like, it was basically like I need something for Gardevoir outside of Mew, and it's like my good steel type. And then Seismitoad was gonna be like my Scald knockoff ground type roll compression, because I don't really trust Garchomp that much as my only ground type, because like versus Thunderous or something, I'm probably really weak to Thunderous the more I think about it, but it would be better if I had like Seismitoad as my second ground.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to what we were talking about before with Excadrill and Pharaoh, Hippo, that sort of thing. Do you have an inclination for what sorts of Mew sets you might like to run? I know you had mentioned Will-O-Wisp sets.
Yeah, definitely Will-O-Wisp Taunt is probably going to be my most used. Like, when you check my, dude, at the end of the tournament, check my usage stats. Will-O-Wisp would probably be my top 3 like most used moves on every single like match. Hold on, give me a sec. I'm getting a phone call, which is like, I don't know why someone's calling me now, but give me a sec.
Wanted to draft Mega Audino, and you're jealous.
Okay. Slow your roll. Why did
the message I sent in general?
I shouldn't have resumed that. I shouldn't have resumed when you started talking about Audino. But like, yeah, I remember now. I was talking about how okay. I was talking about how what's it called? I wanted, when you check
something
like,
with Mew.
Something about Mew, yeah. When you check my move usage stats at the end, you'll probably see Will-O-Wisp as my most clicked move. Will-O-Wisp was Scald because Burn is insane in this tier. So yeah, I picked Mew because my main goal going into this was I wanted Landorus initially, but then I decided I'd prefer Garchomp because of the speed. That's literally it. I'd like Landorus for the U-turn and like it's easier to fit rocks on it, but like the speed of Garchomp is too big. And then Lopunny was my Lopunny, everyone knows what Lopunny does. I picked Mew because Mew is a wild card, but it's probably gonna run the same like 2 moves each game, Wisp, Taunt, and then I'll figure out based on my opponent. Then Empoleon was because I needed compression between Seismitoad and Metagross, and then I picked Moltres expecting. This is funny because this is another example of people don't read the rules. I picked Moltres because I was planning to draft Mega Venusaur as well. Because if I could have Moltres and Mega Venusaur, then like just imagine how much better this draft looks when I have those 2 Megas in addition. Because like the ultimate balance score.
Yeah, I like how many options you've got for each role. Like you've got 4 Stealth Rockers, 3 or 4 Defoggers, 2 U-turners, plenty of knockoff priority. It's a very well-rounded team. I do kind of feel like to an extent it lacks that Hoopa type of Mon or that
Yeah,
Kieran Black or that Landorf eye that puts the immediate like just shit into your pants as soon as it hits the field. Because for as good as Garchomp and Lopunny are as breakers, I think part of the reason they're so good is because of their other qualities like their speed, their priority,
yeah, for sure.
typing, utility moves, and whatnot. But as far as a pure damage dealer goes, as far as a sweeper goes as well, I feel like you are left a little bit lacking.
Hmm.
But that's my only criticism. As a whole, it's quite well balanced. I like the Fire, Water, Grass core. I had ranked you top 5, number
Oh, that's
5, so
nice.
I
That's
quite rate
nice.
your draft.
One thing I really like about this, I want to just talk about it real quick. I think my team, like when you look at it, there's not really much damage potential here. But the more I look at it, the more I realize Adamant Lopunny is probably gonna be my most used Lopunny with like, because I think it gets like, I think it's base 130. I'm gonna have like 105 attack to play with. I mean, sorry, 405 like flat attack. So it'll be like one of the, those really annoying Pokemon that like they switch and they do like 51%, 52%, and it's like I can recover and like stave it off, but it's like putting a lot of pressure. That's probably what Lopunny is gonna end up doing for me.
Yeah, I agree, especially if you're able to run Adamant, which I think you are. I can already see what you just described happening versus
Hmm.
stuff like Hippo or Skarm or Clef. The only issue with that is that high jump kick is
Is high jump
so
kick, yeah.
punishing. If you miss, yeah, it's high jump kick, and if you get into those extended like attack recover sequences, you will eventually miss. I was looking at low punny as well, but specifically because of high jump kick, I didn't want to use it.
That's fair.
So props to you. Are you worried about people running protect? Because that was another thing that I had considered when it comes to low punny.
Mm, I didn't really think about it that much because I'm not expecting to click high jump kick often. I'm probably just gonna be clicking return, fake out. Like high jump kick, just something of this. I think it's just like muscle memory from playing OU a lot. You don't click high jump kick as much as you think you do. Your most click move is return. High jump kick is like when I'm facing off against the Tyranitar or the Excadrill, and I absolutely have to get rid of it. Otherwise, I'd rather click something else. Like I tend to avoid clicking it until I need to, which is when it gets really
Yeah,
unfortunate when I actually have to and miss.
e- I mean, even then, in draft, if you know what it is that you're going up against, you might often be able to afford to run low kick against a T-Tar team or
Mhm.
drain punch against a Bisharp team, for example.
Yeah, I'm
So
not
it's
forced
not that
into
big
high
of a
jump kick.
deal.
And especially if I get to run Adamant, Drain Punch is actually strong. Like Drain Punch is actually now annoying to face because dude, Lopunny has 408 attack when it's maxed out Adamant. That's higher than that's higher than Tita, higher than Metagross, higher than like all those guys. It's really high. I think it's higher than King Gambit, like for context.
You lost me. King Gambit?
Yeah, I was saying Lopunny's attack when maxed out is, I think it has a higher attack stat than King Gambit. Let me check.
Bro, you gotta remember, I'm
Yeah,
30.
it actually has a
King
higher attack
Gambit
stat
means
than
nothing to
Gambit.
me. What's a King Gambit, bro?
Oh, sorry.
That's
Dude.
what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Just know it's really high. It's up there with it's higher than all of the pseudos. It's stronger than you'd think. But yeah, I'm
quite
confident
like
about this.
I like the utility options. It has its like I like the Encore power up
Mhm.
punch sets. I think those are quite cool.
Encore, if I need to healing wish, I have that as well. If I ever face against a
Yeah,
Spikes
double.
team, if I ever face against Spikes, I'm using what's it called, Magic Coat, and bouncing back their Spikes before clicking Taunt or something. I'll figure something out.
Well,
But yeah.
thanks for letting me know, bro. Won't be
Yeah.
clicking spike on your low funny then.
But like you're just gonna click protect and like I'm gonna cry when I miss anyway, so it's okay.
Nah, I'm gonna switch into my hippo. That's what I would do.
Oh,
I'm gonna switch into my Mega Audino, as a matter of fact.
Oh yeah, actually no, that's a threat. Dude, Ordino might actually be a problem until I remember that I have Empoleon with choice specs and I click Flash Cannon, and on Ferrothorn switching and I click Hidden Power Fire because I'm that guy. But anyway, I think that's it.
No, there's. All right.
Yeah. So I think we'll just close here. I just want to conclude saying thank you for hosting this draft. I'm super excited to play. Like, I've never played draft before. I think this is both our first time playing a draft league, and it looks to be fun.
Yeah, yeah. If anyone wants to join, if you don't mind, go ahead and putting the link to the server in the description.
Oh, for sure.
Season 1 is underway, but we'll pretty much immediately be starting Season 2 after it ends and looking to upgrade with more players. So feel free to stop on by.
Yeah, for sure. I'll leave links in the description to the doc as well if anyone wants to check the records, and I'll leave the link to the Discord, all that stuff. But anyway, thank you for coming. I'm really excited for this draft league.
Yeah, me too, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, anytime. All right, thank you guys. See ya in the next one.